One second, let me turn on a light. Ooh. Hi, Soul. Hi, Jawara. Hi, Khalid.
Hey, Primo.
How you doing, Soul?
Doing good. How are you?
I'm doing all right. Are you on the move tonight or are you home?
Yeah, I'm at my parents' house.
Okay, gotcha. Are they in New York?
Hey, Primo.
Yeah, Long Island.
Oh, cool. Hey, Jawara. Long time no see. Cool picture.
Thank you. I'll come live in a second. I just need to set up.
Yeah, no worries. Do your thing. Okay. Excited to talk to y'all tonight. Thanks for being here. Got a few things to figure out for sure. Khalid, Dante texted me today asking about a location. So sounds like that's still getting figured out.
That's correct. So the three locations are Ronald McNair Park Space. And for those who don't know, well, I'm assuming you all know where that is, but it is between Classen and Washington Avenue, bordering Eastern Parkway, the northwestern part of our district. Another location would be the athletic field at Wingate High School, Wingate Park High School campus area. And the other one would be the Hamilton Mets playground area. So those are the, oh, I'm sorry. It's either Hamilton Mets or the boys and girls athletic field located in the central part of our district. So those are the locations that we're still deliberating on.
Gotcha. Okay. Jawara, do y'all have an outside space? I think you're on mute.
We did, but unfortunately, they started construction, like a 3-year construction on the outside space. So if not, we would have definitely abused that space. But we do have other Beacon programs who we could possibly use their space if need be. PS 181, which is New York, Tilden, and Snyder. And possibly PS6, which is 43 Snyder. They have like a little basketball court looking thing over there that we could possibly use.
Okay, gotcha. And those are in the district, right? Snyder's in the district.
I believe so. I believe they're 17.
I think so.
Yeah.
It's south of Parkside though, right? Snyder? Am I crazy?
Yeah, Snyder is by like Erasmus.
Snyder, I think, is district. Well, depending on Snyder goes either 14 or 15 because it's horizontal. So it can be either 17 or 14, depending on where you're seeing in between those streets.
I believe it's 17.
Oh, is it east of Bedford?
It's right on Bedford. It's right on Bedford.
It's right on Bedford. So
Snyder and Bedford.
Snyder and Bedford, because that's the cutoff point for between 14 and 17. If it's on the west side of Bedford, that's 14, and the east side is 17.
Okay.
So there are those in our
I know when
community.
the district. I know when the district meets with their principal meets with District 17. So I
District
just
17?
Yeah.
17. Okay. What were you asking, Primo?
I was saying District 17 is in our community board, right?
No. Well, school district 17.
Yeah.
It's in our community board, but community district 17 is a different district, and we share our Clarkson Avenue border with them, and I think also Utica Avenue, but I'll have to double check on that one.
Okay. I got you. Jawara, how's the school year going so far? Is it starting to cool down a little bit?
It's heating up. It's summertime. It's heating up. It's crazy. They're doing it. And it's funny because this is early, but it's not early enough. They're doing summarizing 2.0.
That's right.
It's crazy.
Yeah, I've heard it's kind of a mess for the DOE right now in the central office, to say the least. A lot of people leaving, budgets getting cut. That's what I'm hearing anyway.
There are a lot of firsts happening.
Yeah. Yeah,
It
yeah. Summarizing was hard last year too, right?
was extremely hard. And then this year, it seems like it's going to be maybe even harder.
Wow.
The things they're asking us to do, you know?
What are they asking you to do? Like combine schools into the same building kind of thing?
Well, that happened last year. So yeah, that's happening again this year. They are asking for CBOs to push in and to service everybody, inclusive of District 75 schools at the same time that you're servicing gen ed and what have you. And it's funny because, you know, the DOE isn't even doing that, right? They have District
Yeah.
75 schools and then they have regular schools, but they're asking us to do everything at the same time. So it's gonna be crazy.
How can they even expect anybody to be able to do that with budgetary constraints? Are they paying big for these summer contracts?
They're giving you a budget, but it's crazy. You know, summer camps hire 18, 19, 20-year-olds, and you're asking them to be there with a child with an IEP or has a medical something, and you know nothing about the child. You're just meeting them for camp. When things go wrong, everybody's gonna go, oh no, over there. That's how I feel personally, but
Yeah. How long is the program supposed to be? It's like right after the 4th of July break through the
correct.
end
The
of
5th.
August,
The 5th.
kind of.
So if you have middle school, it's 6 weeks from the 5th through the 12th of August. And if you're elementary age, it's the 5th through the 17th, 19th, whatever that day is.
Of August.
That's there. So and it's rough though, with having the younger children with disability. It's rough.
Yeah.
That's tough. And there are greater numbers too. So
There are greater numbers of what? Of disability.
elementary students with
Elementary.
disabilities, I think the numbers are higher than the middle school, like much higher. And the DOE is not, last year they at least attempted to help by sending paras and teachers. This year they're not sending anyone. You're on your own.
Oh, they're not sending anyone. So what is the DOE staff going to be doing this summer?
They will operate from 8 to, let's say 8 to 12, and then the CBOs take over afterward. And that's middle school. The elementary, you're there all day with them. So
Nope.
working out kinks, you know.
Oh man.
Dewara,
Yes,
hey, did you used to work with Medgar?
I still do.
Don't we know each other?
I believe so. I'm sorry, I wouldn't even look at, yes.
I think that we know each other from a long time. I used to work with CCM.
Oh, with Shalon, which
Yes, with
Shalon
Siobhan
Langhorne, yeah.
and Marie and all of them. Because I'm like, wait, I know that name, and I had to think about it really hard. And I was like, wait, I know you. How are you?
I'm good.
You sitting in the game, huh?
Yeah. Hanging on by a thread, but I'm here.
Okay, it's good to see you.
Same here.
Yeah, I have a question though. Is there room to like get any small groups to work with for the summertime?
What do you mean?
Well, I'm a CBO now, so I'm trying to see if there's like ability to work with like smaller groups in the summer to support with like some summer programming. But not large groups. I don't want like a big group, but like smaller groups of kids. I heard like if it's 9 or less, there's like little less restrictions, things like that.
I don't know. Let's talk offline about that.
Okay.
I haven't heard that, but sure. Let's
Okay.
see what we can do.
All right. Okay. Do you have a contact that I can get real quick?
Sure. 917, my cell.
Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second.
Sorry to hijack the beginning.
I know,
No, it's all
right?
good. It's all good. We're a small group. We're chilling today.
All right,
Hi,
go
Linda.
ahead.
917. I'll put it in the chat so people can
Oh,
talk.
okay.
I don't think there is a chat. I think they
Oh,
stole
yeah. I was
the
gonna say they always block.
they
Oh,
stole the chat from us. Yeah.
how dare they? 917-459-1896.
Okay, got you.
Okay. How's everybody doing? I haven't seen you guys in forever.
It's been a minute. I mean, it's been the beginning of this year was really hard, right? And like it's gotten better, but it's still like that. Trauma, honestly, is
It's
lingering.
raw. It's
You
just
know?
raw.
It's just still there. I am like waiting for the summer, basically, for things to
Right.
just cool off a little bit. And I
I'm
know it's
not,
gonna be
'cause
crazy
it
for
never
you,
ends.
but
Yeah, it never ends. They seek out real ways to really get you, keep you on your toes.
apparently, I'm just at least hoping for like, weather where I can go outside and like have a beer on the weekends, like
Oh, okay. Yeah,
just
that's fast approaching. So
it's coming close. Yeah, just anything like that. Linda, how are you?
Fine, and yourself?
Pretty good, pretty good,
A
pretty
bit
good.
busy, but Lord, I hope after this month I've got some time for myself. Like I say
Yeah.
now, every time is something. But I know
That's
this
all.
year was going to be rough because, um, it's my church general convention. It happens every 3 years, and I am a delegate from New York, and I also sit on a few committees. So we've been having meetings, hoping that we meet.
Yeah.
So yeah, we just hoping. So we will meet in Baltimore. So we just hoping. All right, now we'll be traveling for meetings, but we ain't traveling. We having them by Zoom. Hoping that by July 1st, we can all move down to Baltimore for the 2 weeks.
I'm sure you will be able to by
I
July.
hope so. I've had 2 years to get this opportunity.
I will keep my fingers crossed for you. I will. Yeah, every 3 years, right? I mean,
Yes.
hopefully you're catching it on the tail end. Hopefully. Soul, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. Just been, a lot of running around and working to build the program and all of that, and also trying to support family a little bit more. So, trying to keep life balanced.
It's hard, right? Balance is the hard part right
Right.
now. That is for sure. Khalid, we're good to go, even though we're a small group, right? Like 4 of us, we can proceed.
In terms of if you're gonna come up with any concrete voting items,
I don't think we will. We'll just do a
you're
little
fine.
bit of
Yeah, you're fine to proceed.
planning and talking.
And in my humble opinion, if you're working with a solid group in terms of planning, and just you go ahead with it, please.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, cool. Well, let's get through the agenda tonight so that everybody has some time to chill a little bit after this conversation. I think this is maybe Warren. Is that Warren Burke? Okay. I feel like he spelled his name differently a little bit. Isn't it Berke?
That's not worrying.
That's not Warren. That's somebody else.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And he usually got like
Yeah, I don't know
assistant. Yeah.
who this is. Hi, Burke. Welcome to the conversation. It's not Warren Burke, right? It's another Burke.
Yeah, it's Donique.
Oh, Danique. Okay. Good to see you. I was like, who is this? Welcome. It's good to see you again or hear you again. How are you doing?
I'm good. I hope everyone's well.
Good. We're doing well. Good to have you and Jawara with us. We're just going to dive into the agenda and talk through a few things. So I guess just to give you and Jawara a little bit of an update, what the community board and what this committee decided to do was to host kind of like a larger community board fair. And at that, where like all of the different committees would be represented and could have the opportunity to set up tables and basically give out information to the community. And we decided that we would wrap the Youth Services Career Expo into this larger event. We figured it would give us the opportunity to kind of reach more people, have a larger audience, and also collaborate with some other committees. And so initially the community board, and so this is kind of up to like the chairs and the leadership of the community board, had identified the weekend of Sunday, May 22nd, as being the best date for us to host this fair. we had a budget meeting recently where we basically asked for, about 15 tables and a bunch of different items to go along with those tables, like thinking about just, water and chairs and then larger kind of requests for the space and the time, thinking about having like a DJ and being able to create flyers to pass around the community. What I'll say is that so far, and correct me if I'm wrong, but Khalid, but they're having trouble locking down a space. And that's been something that they've been talking about. And I think that because they've been having trouble locking down a space, they're also thinking about shifting to a different weekend, which kind of makes things a little bit challenging for us to do outreach at the moment, because we can't say, do you want to participate in a community board fair location and date yet to be determined? We were going to move ahead with the 22nd, but it sounds like now that's kind of up in the air. We were hoping to do this outdoors, of course, on a weekend. Initially, they had targeted like Prospect Park, but Prospect Park won't give them a permit. After that, they started looking at some other spaces. We just had a meeting, I don't know, 2 weeks ago, where we floated some new ideas. So now they're looking at Ronald McNair Park. They're also looking at, the Ronald McNair Park is a little small.
Yeah.
It's, it is definitely a little bit small, but it's also, and it's not exactly even, and there's no kind of big, great flat space, but there is space there. And it could be possible to host a fair. And then the other two spaces that they're looking at are like Wingate, at the Wingate High School, I guess, open space. And then the other one was Metz Field, METZ. Both of those are a little bit deeper into Crown Heights, if you will, a little bit further east. Whereas, Ronald McNair Park would be kind of as far west as you could possibly get. West, that's correct. As you could possibly get, but they've been having trouble finding a space, which is then tossed into question where exactly we are going to host. So open for any thoughts. Yeah, go for it, Jawara.
Have we thought of maybe closing a street like what they do for like a
Right,
block
that was-
party?
Yeah, that was be
That's-
my question.
That was what I was thinking too. Khalid, maybe you can say a little bit about the
So
street
for
option.
Ronald McNair, we also applied for a street closer for Classen Avenue.
The bus
um,
station, by the bus, where the bus pass?
By the
Right.
bus stop right
Okay.
there by the schools, yes. So that we've applied for a street permit, street closer, street festival, as of right now, and it's pending in the street activity permit office system right now. But that was for the Ronald McNair location.
Is that for the 22nd or for June 4th?
The weekend of the 21st.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
That could work better
Yeah.
that could work a lot better, I think, than doing it inside the park, frankly. So
Yeah.
that's not a bad idea. Soul, you had your hand raised.
Well, that's a good location for me. I live down the block. But I was thinking, because it's funny, I just happened to go, what about another block to consider, or area to maybe do something dual route? What is it? Major Owens Wellness Center on right down the block on on Bedford and Union, which is also down the block from me, but they have that inside area, and then maybe we could also lock off the block. I don't know. I was just thinking that's another, I just happened to run into it the other day and was like, oh, wow, this is great. Because I thought they were going to knock that down. But I don't know if that's something to consider.
No, that's another good one. That was one that I suggested actually at the larger meeting.
Mhm.
Khalid, do you know if they ever pursued the Major R. Owens Avenue?
In terms of street closure, no, not at this time. I don't have any update, at least for that location, but I can definitely check in for you guys and find out.
Yeah, that'd be helpful. Khalid, would you also mind jotting down some minutes, or do you want somebody else to do it?
I can jot down minutes, yes.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Hey, Matthias. Hi, Valerie.
Hi, Valerie.
And how you doing?
Hey. Just giving a quick update, which was that the larger community board who is supposed to be responsible for finding a venue is having trouble finding a venue. And so we're talking through some different options right now. But I think they're thinking they've asked they put in a permit for the block next to Ronald McNair Park. So on Classen Avenue to kind of close that block, which happens sometimes. I don't know if y'all have ever seen like the Panamanian Day Parade and that kind of thing, but they'll close off that block for that. And then, Sol was just suggesting the Major R. Owen Center and maybe closing a block outside of that. I guess the benefit of that block for Ronald McNair Park is that it's sitting in front of a few schools. So it's right in front of Claire Barton High School. So that may be familiar stomping ground for some high schools. And then they're also looking at Wingate and Metzfield, which are both a bit deeper out into the east side of Crown Heights. But it's making us real hard for us to really reach out to folks because we're stuck in this pattern where we don't have a location at the moment still. That's kind of the update at the moment. Matthias, Valerie, any thoughts, questions?
Well, I don't
That's
have
a tough
any
one.
thoughts. Okay, go ahead, Matthias.
No, you go.
I have any thoughts or anything at this point because it's what, April, and it's supposed to be what, May?
Well, it's the beginning of April. It's supposed to be at the end of May. It may end up getting pushed into early June.
Okay. Well, whatever they're doing, I'm sure they're working very hard to try to find a location, and they have the partners and things that are at their disposal to be able to, move expeditiously once we're able to get the permit for the location. I think over there by the park would be nice to be outside, and over there by the McNair location on Classen, that's a nice spot over there. You wouldn't be interrupting a lot of people. And I'm not sure when you have the street closure, if you have to ask certain people on the block, if it's okay for you to close the block. I'm not sure how that happens on a street like that versus for my block closures. When we have block parties, we have to go to each and every resident to ask them, if they're willing to sign off for the street closure. And over there by McNair, there's really not that much residential on Classen right there by the park. So it might be an easy fix.
Yeah, I think there's basically no residential, so it should be pretty easy, hopefully. Yeah, I think I agree. That would be a good location if they actually get it to happen. Matthias?
Yeah, I think that's right. Block sets up, but this should be, I think, like Wingate should be interesting, right? They have that big property where they do the concerts and all that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
We put in a permit for that one too, Matthias. The athletic field with Wingate.
So,
Yes.
so who is driving this?
I'm
effort?
sorry, who's driving the
It's is it like Dante who's like putting in the permits, or is it like Fred who's like trying to reach out and get in touch?
Oh,
with people?
so it's
just
us,
moving-
the
it's moving
office. Like
fast.
I put in the information like on Street Activity Permit Office and NYC Parks, Community Day Fair, such and such time, anticipated participants, time frame, etc., so forth. We put it in the office.
But who comes up with the locations?
Oh, so we were at least the district manager asked us in office what our prime physical locations, because we were trying for Prospect Park, the Lincoln Road area, but Prospect Park, I think maybe Dante may have informed Primo, but Prospect Park was not allowing two events to be occurring at the same time. So I believe Smorgasbord was also scheduled for around that time frame. They were not gonna allow two separate events on the same day for a variety of reasons, including insurance and staffing limitations, etc., so forth. So to try to compensate for, any other locations, we were thinking, okay, Hamilton Mets playground area, the Boys and Girls Athletic Field, the Wingate Athletic Field, and Ronald McNair Park are decent, like places that could accommodate decent foot traffic. And so we just went ahead and put it.
Isn't Boys and Girls in Bedford Stuyvesant?
So we're having trouble with the name. The athletic field on Rutland and
Over by the hospital.
Yes,
Right.
by
Maple,
Kingsbrook.
over by Maple, close to Maple.
yes, near Kingsbrook Jewish Medical Center. Yes, that athletic field. We were trying to put in, and we believe it's called Boys and Girls Athletic
It
Field,
is.
but I could be wrong.
You're right.
Old boys and girls.
Right.
Oh,
right,
boys,
right,
that's
right.
it. Oh, boys and girls.
Thank you,
Rutland
Jawara.
and Troy, I believe.
Yes, around there. So we put in applications for these locations at around the same dates, just so we could at least whatever bites. Hopefully, we can get something.
Can I ask you a question? Is there something in terms of June? Was there a reason why we're kind of avoiding June? If it's a June weekend, is there a reason why we were kind of avoiding that time frame?
I think the only thing was that we were like a little worried about it being too late, for job opportunities. But the school year goes until June 27th this year.
Right.
Like I don't like, but knowing that also, like, I mean, realistically, right? Like the summer youth employment applications close at the end of
Exactly.
April, right? So like
Right.
a lot of people are trying to get their applicants in as soon as possible so that they can get them situated. But it's also
Right.
possible that summer youth employment is just, because of the size of the program, it's just, it's they're gonna close applications sooner. But I think our only kind of resistance was to how late in the year it would be for.
Right. So are we married to, like, I know you were saying a couple of different things. Are we married to making it just about a career fair? Like if we have
I don't
some
think so.
information, yeah,
we can,
like I'm
we can
figuring
we can
if we
have
kind
some
of-
information, but I think just
Yeah.
based on the feedback from previous, job expos or whatever,
Mhm.
Matthias was sharing that, like, students had said that they kind of came looking for job opportunities, and that was kind of the primary driver. So I think we should probably keep that at the center of what we're trying to do, but
Right.
we can definitely have other opportunities for young people at the fair as
Yeah.
well.
Because I'm thinking like if it was inclusive of like just having information about various CBOs, if we make it like a fun day where we have like some sports and some fun things going on for the kids there, it would also like kind of keep them interested and get them to know more about CB9 and different things. So kind of adding in like activity-based stuff would also, I think would be a draw, for the kids. That's just the thought.
Yeah. I don't think I know that it's a big lift to put together activities, but Sol, if you want to be the chair of activities, you should.
I don't mind helping.
You should go for it for sure.
Okay.
So, sorry, just to chime in, guys, because this is a multi-committee led
Right.
effort. So the Health and Social Services Committee, they're trying to come in from a health and social services angle for the youth as well. So I would suggest, talking with them this Thursday to decide what they, how they would want to participate, or the Education and Library Committee as well, which is also on this Thursday. So, you can work with, other committees have different angles as well, just to help you.
Okay.
Does anybody want to go to those meetings? Anybody here have time on Thursday evening?
Well, I'm already a part of Education and Library, so
Okay.
I'm vice chair now. I don't know if everybody knew that.
Right on. So you'll be in the education meeting, and then
Yeah.
is anybody in the health and social services? Linda, are you?
No, I'm not. But why they keep them at 6 o'clock? 6 o'clock, sometimes I'm not even leaving my office yet. I like 7 o'clock.
They're all 7 o'clock, Linda.
They're 7? Oh, all right. Because
Nobody meets at 6 unless it's a public hearing. Nobody meets.
it's the public hearings I'm always miss. You're right.
Okay, so
All right,
we
I'm
already
trying
have.
to move a little bit earlier now.
Okay. All right, so we'll have Sol represent us at the Education Committee's conversation, and
Who's
then
chairing that now?
what?
Who's chairing
It's
education?
A lady,
Melanie.
Melanie Lewis.
Melanie Lewis? Okay.
Yeah,
I can't keep track of that committee, man.
yeah, I know it's been changing a lot recently, but Melanie seems like a really great,
awesome.
energetic leader of the committee so far. So
But I do think, you know, to your earlier point, Primo, that, you know, like we need a location, you know,
We do.
because nobody's going to want to really put in all this work and then we're not even sure if we're going to have a location, right? And
yeah,
so, and May's around the corner, right? We basically was at a month and a half.
yeah.
So
Oh.
I don't know what you guys think in terms of, or Khalid, what your timeline is. I noticed there's no precedent for this, so.
So I gather that it seems that, you know, we might like the Ronald McNair along with the street activity, the street closure. I think the best feasible time frame for that one is June, but early June, not late, because I know that the committee was concerned about Board of Education's schedule or the school children's schedule. So if it's Ronald McNair and the street closer, if we work for June, I think that's definitely more feasible. But if, you know, the other locations are okay with the committee as well, or the multitude of the committees, and we acquire them, we'll definitely posit that. But they're still pending. We haven't gotten any updates yet, and we might have to even submit additional information in terms of the details of the program. So I can definitely let Dante and Mia know when I go in tomorrow, if we can provide updates on where we are on
Is
acquiring.
Ronald McNair the one by the museum or the?
Yeah.
Yes.
The triangle at between the museum and the school cluster sites over there on Classen.
and that doesn't.
Oh, right, that, okay, interesting.
It looks like this with Eastern Parkway across the top, you know?
Yes.
Yeah, I know what you're talking
And
about.
it's close to train stations also. But the other thing to Seoul is that Ronald McNair does not really have a lot of like grassy areas that we could really have kids run around. That's the only thing with Ronald McNair. The other places might, but that doesn't have a lot. Because if we pack as much as we want in you know, tables and stuff, it would take up a lot of space. And then they got monuments in between there.
Belinda, we also have the street closure. So you know, the street closure would the street would be open, of course, for pedestrian traffic and such. But the Ronald McNair location is actually, we think it's actually kind of, we think it's spacious. We think that they have ample seating,
Yes.
and you know, it's not necessarily a play area per se,
Right,
but
that's what
you know, it's mostly us providing different
Information.
materials and information for the right. And you know, I know that some in it might want to consider, you know, like a bouncy house or anything like that. That would require insurance on a whole other level of, you know, requirements from us on the administrative end. So, but we think it's spacious, and especially with the street closure, it would actually accommodate everybody's needs. That's what we're banking on, because we're doing the street closure from President to Eastern Parkway on Classen.
On the side, on the museum side would be fantastic.
Washington.
They're not going
okay.
to close Washington. They're not going to close
It
Washington.
would be, yeah,
right?
because we don't. That's such a thorough way of, like, you know,
Yeah.
traffic and you know, intercity commerce and such. We are not confident in
Nah,
Washington being
it's not gonna
closed.
happen.
We think
He said-
Classen.
he said intercity commerce. Jesus.
I'm sorry. It's a bit. It's
Big
Washington is a
words.
pretty serious avenue, in my humble opinion. But we
It
think
is.
Classen might be much more feasible, and that's why we opted for the two streets for, like, and it's wide, you know. So we're thinking that it could definitely accommodate the committees for the day fair, the community fair.
It's
That's
fine.
what we're
There's no-
that's what we're
So-
And
thinking.
one of those
But-
that down the other one, that would be fun too. That would really give enough space. Because nobody's usually be there on the weekend with the schools. Now there's a big school there, and then there's like nobody really live over there.
Where are you talking about? I'm sorry.
And this is, like we're close to the track, close to where the angles start coming up from Empire to the park. Not on the museum side, on Classen side. There's like a street there. There's really nobody live over there.
So Ronald McNair is adjacent to, or it sits in between Washington and Classen, because Classen splits from Washington.
I think she's talking about the block in between, like it's like maybe
Jefferson
Union.
Union.
It's like
Covington.
president between or union, president or
because-
union between
Oh, Just a
between
complete-
Washington and Franklin.
Yeah, when we do the kids, Labor Day stuff, that
Yes.
street, we use that, and there's really no houses over there.
Yes, I know
That
where you.
too.
Yeah, because like half of it is like school, the rest half is just
Right.
residential. going on.
So,
Right.
so Khalid, what is the kind of the vision for this right now? Like, because I'm not entirely clear what this is going to look like or what the idea is.
Matthias, I would only suggest maybe attending the executive committee meeting to go over that. I don't like, I'm not to be facetious or anything. I am not the best person to explain to you, what the vision is for this community day fair. I understand that the committees want to plan together around it, including the Parks Committee, the Health and Social Services Committee, maybe perhaps the Environmental Protection Committee as well, to basically collaboratively provide resources in all those fields to community residents. And the vision for to get a lot of foot traffic, to build optics of CB9 in general, and provide agency information and community-based organization information to the public. So that's the core of the community day fair. But in terms of like, I'm sorry.
That's kind of what I got from it. But I think that because we started out kind of planning our or bringing back our youth, job fair, right?
I know.
And so this is not that, right? So I think we just gotta just kind of rethink what our role here is, or maybe if we just still want to just do our own thing, right? We got
Too late.
Laura Hudson on our committee. You know what I mean? Like, we can make power moves.
Yeah.
You guys are free to you're
Shout out.
free to do as you'd like as a committee. I am only here to provide support.
I think we talked about that kind of at the last meeting. Like, if we wanted to, the hard part is like, Khalid, this, but like, our hands are tied until y'all find a location. Like, we kind of can't do any work until y'all find a location. And so, we'll either be scrambling last minute to, reach out to folks and see how many people can attend, or we pull out of the event, which is a call that we're going to have to kind of make probably in the next 2 or 3 weeks, frankly.
Okay.
I would just
Then I
rethink
will-
it. I just rethink what we would be doing there. Like,
But I think what we'll
we're
be
not
doing is we're just going to be tabling, right? So we'll just be inviting folks to set up tables. So I don't think it's like that complicated for us, like in terms of what we're doing.
Yeah, but
I don't really think it's that complicated for Community Board 9 to do that, because I'm trying to find out who is the chair of this event. Because we've been dilly-dallying back and forth, if I might be frank, for the last, but I'm Val, I'm not Frank, but for the last 3 or 4 months with regard to this. And I just gotta be honest and stuff. This kind of puts us in a little bind, because we wanted to, in 2022, I'm speaking for myself, and if anybody wanted to chime in, but this is 2022, and we wanted to make a comeback. We wanted to go back and reinvent what we were doing, making linkages with the people that we had in the past and new people. And I'm not, being, say, mean or mean-spirited, but I really would like, who is the chair? Who's the key person that's gone ahead? What's the vision? What's my experience? You're saying, what's my experience going to be when I come to the event? You want to have the park. How many committees? You named 4 committees. We need 2 blocks closed off for four committees to be out there. How many people, how many tables, how many committees are there? Do you know how many committees, Khalid?
How many committees are participating in
Right,
this?
how many committees can participate?
I would say about the 4 that are youth services, environmental protection, parks, health and social services, and maybe education and library and committee.
Education. Probably
Okay,
six.
so
Apologies,
it's not inclusive of every committee, so we have like 6 tables. So.
Well, we
No,
have
there were
six committees. I mean, you know, our committee itself will have like 15 tables.
Okay, so, but I just want to, try to find what the vision is, to put in effort and, and to please let them view the tape. I just need for the people that are in charge, that's above my pay grade, to be able to provide us with a little more direction so that we can reach out to our people to let them know, who we're talking to or who are potential folk that we're talking to, that on this day, we're going to have this and it's going to be at this location. And that's just what I'm saying. And I hope I'm not stepping on anybody's toes by saying this, but I want to be honest because I want us to be successful. I want us to look good. We're Community Board 9. We're in Crown Heights. We're a crown jewel of the community boards. We want to, make a impression here. And we want when the people to walk by that we just to have a handful of tables and we're closing off 2 streets. Help me with this. And that's my speech, and I'm gonna pull back now.
That's what everybody's thinking. It's the same thing. And I mean, it's Fred and Warren who are kind of, the chairs of the board, and they're the chairs of this event as well. And I can send them an email and voice what you just shared. Because it's too late at this point,
Because that puts us in a bind that we have to run around and try to get our people to make it happen. And, things happen, COVID really took a bite at a lot of the things that we wanted to do this year and the year before. So, and I understand that. So please don't feel that I'm being mean spirited, but I'm like, let's do it. Let's make it happen. How hard is this? We're Community Board 9. We can do this.
It's just not going to be what we intended to do, which is fine, right? It's just going to be something different. And we're not going to have a youth fair, as part of this. We might have, I think, we may have a couple community partners that could table, right? Like, but a youth job fair specifically, end of May is a little bit too late, right? So, I mean, I think we just got to rethink what our role is within this this endeavor, right? And I think it's going to be a smaller kind of setup. I don't know what you're thinking, but which is fine, right? Like whatever.
I mean, I'm hoping and confident that like no matter what we end up doing, we're gonna have, my thing is if we can get kids out there, if we could get the information out there, if we could be purposeful and useful to the community, and we just kind of figure out, because again, I think the time frame is a bit of a challenge. But I'm hopeful that at the end of the day, it'll be a great event, great, well attended, and we'll pull something off that'll be useful to the community. But I did want to throw in there that I know that my block association, because that's my area. So I know the block association president, and I believe she has a permit to lock off Union Street for an event, which does include a bouncy house and stuff like that. So I don't remember what weekend I forgot the weekend she said it was going to be. I don't know if that's something that's helpful information for you, or if you would want them to support in any kind of way, then let me know.
Oh, because
What
they
block
already,
is this?
Yeah, they already have it. Say that again.
Union between what and what?
I live on Union between Bedford and Franklin. And so I know that she already has something in to lock that space off.
Mildred?
Yes, Mildred.
Okay. All right, because we've been talking about block parties and stuff recently.
Yeah, so there's something she already has coming up. She spoke with me last week. So I don't know if there's, any, I don't know. I just was putting that out there to you guys.
it's helpful. I think I need to have a frank conversation with Warren and with Fred and let them know that there's only so much time we can wait before we're just going to have to go on and do our own thing, because this doesn't look like it's going to happen at this pace. And then, Matthias, to your point, I think, yeah, maybe it won't be a job fair. Maybe it will be a, youth services expo or whatever. And, those vendors that we reach out to who do have jobs available, we'll invite them, and we'll invite, folks who also are just providing services, whether it be, camp or things throughout the school year also. And maybe it's not just summer jobs, maybe it's jobs throughout the course of the year, but I think we can reach out to our list, and the people who say, yeah, like, we'll have opportunities, they'll come through. And the people who say we don't have opportunities right now won't come through.
And then maybe, Sol sounds like she has connections when it comes to different opportunities for youth, some type of activities and stuff. It sounds like, I don't know if she has some young people that can come out, and because did you say something about a performance one time? Some type of performance?
Well, I was thinking, because I've already put together a few films with the youth that I work with. I was actually still working and looking into trying to get a micro grant, and so how, for example, we have Robert McNair putting up maybe a big filming thing. We could, showcase some of the kids' work, showcase different maybe some educational films or different things during the day to kind of have that playing in the background. And we could think of, if we're going to do performance, that's going to be like another level of coordination. But I was thinking of maybe just showcasing and showing some films and things like that during the event.
Because since I work at the Armory, I might be able to talk Efatayo into, maybe they have a couple of people that can do a dance or play some instruments on that particular day, and it's just right down the street from the Armory, and maybe they can come out and do things, and maybe I could get Digital Girl to come and maybe table, so I can ask those people to come out. And then I don't know, maybe there's a representative from the West Indian Carnival Association that might be able to come out and show costume making.
That would
maybe
be great.
Do, some couple of little things. So, we can pull it off now.
Yeah, I think that would be, I
could do this, I could pull this off on my own with just us here on this little group right here. But I don't want to overstep my boundaries, but I will reach out to them. But again, we need to know a date, and we need to know a location.
Right. Another thing is there's an organization called Theo that is attached to SUNY Downstate. So I talked to the leader there. They're no longer doing the theater piece, but they still do workshops. So if we wanted to do and I know their information is usually health and wellness based, and the kids do it, there could be a possibility for them to do a workshop with the kids during the event too. So that's another thing we can put in there. I think we can make this, to me personally, I think it's an opportunity to make it into a big and great event. So, and then I think it could be something that would, because let's say that there's kids who, yes, they want a job, but then there's kids that just might want something to do, or kids who just need to be informed, or parents who need to be informed about things in the community. I think we actually hit multiple buckets of people in a greater way through this opportunity, if we kind of look at it like that.
We can definitely do all this stuff, but we need a date, and we need a venue. So I mean, we can keep talking about all the possibilities, but we can't really reach out to anybody until we have a venue. And so I think, the question is, how long is this group willing to wait, or are you just willing to kind of ride it out and see what happens? I mean, I can certainly apply some pressure, but our only alternative is for us to kind of decide at some point that we would rather do our own thing. If it feels like this isn't going to happen, I believe it will happen. I just think we'll probably have only about a month of turnaround time to actually, reach out and get folks there. And if you're comfortable with having a month of turnaround time, then we can do that. That's going to happen. That time is going to arrive. If we do it on May 22nd, I mean, that's, 2 weeks from now, basically, would be a month out from the event. So the question is, can we mobilize inside of a month?
So if we go on our own, would we also have to look for space? Would we know have to start looking for space, or would we revisit the ones that we had discussed? before.
We would have to look out for a space, but I mean, it becomes much easier with like, you know, Jawara and Danique, who could theoretically get us, you know, into a school cafeteria somewhere in the neighborhood.
Right, and even if the school has a big yard, we could still go.
Yeah, they don't have a yard currently, but they have, you know, partner schools that do have yards. So
Okay.
we could kind of go and do that. I mean, we could say if there's no space locked in a month, sorry, in 2 weeks, then we just kind of go out on our own. Does that feel right to folks, or yeah? I see a
So
thumbs up.
Primo, the space that we're looking at, like McNair and that area, I mean, can we just pursue and pick our time now? Because what I'm thinking could possibly happen is if we secure it, then we know that, and then if they want to jump in on it or whatever the case may be, we already have it secured and put together, which kind of what will just make it easier. I don't know. What is your thoughts around that?
I mean, we need is your question like, can we just pursue I mean, we don't know that they're going to let us use that street. I think similar to the way that we thought this was going to happen in Prospect Park, as we were first told by the community board, they then later found out that that's not even a possibility. So, you know, it's reliant on basically having this permit approved for the larger community board fair. But like Khalid was saying, they may come back and ask for more paperwork. This could take another 2 weeks. It could take a month for the city to approve it. It doesn't seem like we have any relationships at the community board level somehow, to like, you know, kind of press on some different keys here. It hasn't felt like we've had really any traction, is the vibe that I'm getting. I'm of course not the person putting in the permits or kind of
Right.
like trying to pursue these relationships, but I'm not getting the sense that they have much juice, frankly, at this point, which is surprising to me.
Right.
Things
Gotcha.
have changed though. I'm sorry, so to cut you off,
Yeah.
but things have changed, the processes and the different people in place. And with this COVID, man, it's really put a hiccup in a lot of the things that we used to do. And even with, you know, my block parties and stuff, you know, we still, even though we were having them, we had to start early because sometimes it would be almost all the time for the event before the lady at the place would release our permit. Because you had to have your permit, you have to have a sound permit. Well, first you got to get the street closed off, you have to get a sound permit and all this other stuff. And it's one permit in one office, another permit at the police department, you got to get your signs. And this was even before COVID happened. So, you know, to give them the benefit of doubt, you know, it's all these different agencies that you got to go to instead of having just one spot for you to do everything. You got to run around. So hopefully, I'm hopeful that they can pull it off. I'm hopeful.
I'm hopeful too. The city is a mess right now. I can even say from my work side, trying to get invoices completed with the Department of Education, nothing's happening. There's like nobody working there. Literally, all they can do is apologize. There's like one person working there. And if that's any indicator of what's happening with like the permit system, then it's probably also nobody there, are really processing these permit requests. Things are slower right now, and it feels like the city administrative side is not functioning at a high level at all, if it's functioning at all. So that's hard. And then, you know, I mean, we can go through the kind of like, you know, private route if this doesn't work out. But I think, you know, my marching orders are probably to like reach out to Warren and
Right.
Fred, yep, tonight, and say like, hey, this is moving way too slow for our committee, which essentially can't do any outreach at the moment. If y'all don't have something confirmed inside the next 2 weeks, we may have to just, we will have to kind of process our own event. And that's a conversation that we can all have via email, and decide if we want to splinter off and do our own thing. I had hoped that things would be confirmed by now, but we don't feel that much closer than we did a month ago.
But also, I have to support Valerie, because even in my own job, we've been looking, nobody's been doing anything. Everybody's been still be waiting and stuff like that. So like, you know, we usually got stuff like Brooklyn Bridge Park. They're still in limbo to nobody, not even volunteers, nobody's doing anything. So I don't know if people are, even although we might be gang ho thinking that COVID is over or we want to go back out, some people are still being a little bit careful. So we got to be a little bit careful.
Yeah. Okay, so I mean, if y'all are comfortable with just kind of continuing to wait, like we'll probably miss out on most of the job fair part of this, but that time may have already passed, and maybe this is more of just a youth services resource fair than it is a career expo, and if we're comfortable with that, then we just do that.
Or
maybe
if
we
we get permission, we could do that. I'll support and we work as hard as we can. It would not be as big as we had wanted, but it would still put us in the community somewhere.
Yeah.
And the year is about to be over for us. We only have 2 meetings left, May, June, right? May, June for meeting wise, official for the official year. So whatever activity we would have on our own we would have to kind of pull it off, I guess, in June, because, I'm not sure what is open for us beyond the month of June. So we have to keep that into consideration, and maybe we can flip it a little bit and not to stray away from the job fair. Maybe we can do those, have some information, resources for, resumes and things of that nature, but maybe we can have more of the financial stuff, because didn't a lot of the young people that we talked to trying to be entrepreneurs and want to have their own thing in their own business? So maybe we might can have information with regard to that. And so we had, what was it, grab the bag or snatch the bag? What's the name of our bag? You got the bag?
Secure the bag? I don't know.
Remember the bag? Were you here then when we had the bag? What was that thing?
Secure the
Matthias?
bag.
It was
Secure
secure the
the
bag.
bag. Secure the bag.
Secure the bag, but maybe we can,
Donique came up with that. Ronique, I'm sorry.
right, maybe we could talk more about, how you can conserve or secure your bag right now, because, young people have to look at, for me as an adult, you have to have more than one income stream. If you could do something on the side or do this, that, and the other, how can we pull out their entrepreneurial side so that they can, make some extra ducats?
Permel, I know that we're thinking about summer jobs, but sometimes, like Christmas coming and they have like seasonal jobs. Maybe if we do it maybe after, I don't know if y'all do things in August and September, maybe we could still get some job opportunities for the Christmas season.
Yeah, we can.
I mean, we go by ourselves. If we go on ourselves, we could look at different things.
Yeah. I mean, so, okay, I guess all I can do is reach out to these folks and, see how long it's going to take. And then, I mean, I think it sounds like we're fairly committed to just staying with the current event and then trying to, do our best with whatever that timeline is. We can look for folks who have jobs throughout the regular year rather than jobs over the summer. Hopefully summer youth employment is going to be sufficient and we can focus more on just community resources, although I think jobs are what's going to be primarily the draw for students to come to the fair. But if we can get a few, maybe we can get 3 or 4 or 5 really solid job opportunities, then maybe that'll pull in a bunch of students. So I'll reach out to Fred and Warren tonight and give them a little prod and let them know where we are, and hopefully we can get a little bit more information as to how things are progressing, kind of on the location front. So, I'm sorry, I'm not in charge here, doing my best, but
We're in teams, so
my hands are tied a little bit. I mean, this is another learning experience for us, which is, we're joining a kind of larger effort, and part of what happens when you join a larger effort is that things are outside of your control, and so we've lost control on a few things here, which include date and location, which is just seriously slowing us down. So we'll do our best once we have those things, and if we don't have those things in 2 weeks, maybe we just do the thing ourselves. But I don't want to take up anybody else's time tonight because we can't do too much at this point. I saw that Matthias, I think, put a bunch of different vendor options into the spreadsheet, which is great, and we can utilize that once we have a date and a location. But it's really hard to move at this point without those 2 things. So we can all come back together soon.
Mhm. Good, works for me.
Sounds good? Okay.
Okay.
All right, folks.
All right. Bye,
All right.
y'all.
Thanks,
All
Primo.
right.
Bye, everybody.
All right.
Good night,
Have a good night.
everybody.
Good night. Good night.
Good night.
Bye, Dominique.
All right, good night.